Is this already recording?
Yep.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm Kat.
And I'm Jared.
And we're here to talk to you today about our experience, but also our thoughts on
Alcohol and drug addiction.
Woo!
And how it's affecting society and our generation today.
And it's funny because we're not coming at you like two people who are like totally perfect and we don't drink or do any of this stuff and we live this life up here. We're coming to you as two people who really like to party, kind of.
Yeah, my life's actually a mess, like right now.
Yeah, so we're not preaching at you from a certain level or anything. We just wanted to come from our experience of doing it and not doing it, and how that's affected our lives and how we've been able to grow. So what really sparked the idea for doing this video for myself was not only my years and years of experience around the subject, but I was at a dinner recently with a bunch of people from different parts of the world, and some of them were sharing with us their national dish, and we sat around this table for hours enjoying food and conversation. And someone at one point asked me, what is the national dish of Australia, or what is the culture that brings you all together to do something like this? Any of the things that I would think of, I couldn't think of something that didn't involve tons of alcohol or drugs or something to lubricate the situation. And that was a bit embarrassing, and I didn't really know what to say, but it really sparked this idea of why we do it more in this country than any other.
There's definitely a level of like culture or lack of culture around drinking in Australia, and it's just crazy how out of hand it's getting.
We don't seem to have the customs like they do in a lot of countries that bring people together to actually socialize and connect without this alcohol aid or, you know, decision to take some kind of drug.
I think people really struggle to find the like comfortableness with interacting with people without the aid of alcohol or drugs anymore. Like, yeah, even just hanging with the boys, it's always like, oh, come round for a beer. It's not just come round, hang out for a chat. The only real kind of like interaction everyone's really had together is getting together and drinking. While that is, in a sense, fun while you're doing it, but over time, you don't realize how much your life is like really just decreasing and defined by alcohol.
Exactly, and that then starts to actually affect us in ways that we don't even notice or realize or understand the contrast.
A lot of your friends might not be bad to you, but they're bad for you because they're stuck in the same rut. So they want to feel comfortable, so they'll tell you it's alright so that you'll come and drink with them, and then they feel like they don't have a problem. But really it's just fueling the problem for both of you.
It's not that your friends are the problem, it's not that anything like that is the problem, not even alcohol, it's more the fact that we're just unaware.
Because like when drinking and taking drugs releases a massive rush of dopamine into your brain, and so you feel good and you feel more comfortable, but when you start to like overuse, your body starts to become numb to the effects of dopamine, so then like then you just keep doing it more and doing it more, and then eventually you don't even feel good. Like it's just drawn so much out of you that you're like in a depressed state. And I would justify it to myself by calling it fun, but when I think back now, you know,
there's a crutch.
It is, and it needs to be addressed.
And they say that so many people don't know how amazing their body is designed to feel because they're numbing themselves with all of these other things. We're not saying you have to cut everything out, not by any means, but it's definitely more of a conversation that needs to be had because we're now known, Australia especially, as a drinking culture. We rely on it to lubricate our lives. Drinking, for example. Drinking is something that does relax our bodies, and it does allow our inhibitions to melt away. We become more comfortable in our surroundings, and so we actually become more comfortable perhaps being more of ourselves, more confident, more outgoing. But what it's also doing is it's dumbing us down. It's literally killing brain cells. It has the ability to numb a lot of our emotions and our feelings, both physical and mental. Except we're just allowing ourselves or telling the people who are closest to us to feed their depression with a depressant. What the fuck?
Alcohol's meant to be enjoyed. Like, alcohol is a gift to be enjoyed in a certain context. And us, as a country, as a society, as a generation, have taken that way out of context. Like, we are meant to enjoy. It's okay to, like, we're meant to sit down and enjoy having a beer, having a wine at dinner or whatever. Or you've had a stressful week. You should be able to enjoy having a beer. But it's evident, like, people go out and they'll drink all night, drink till they spend all their money, and spend the next 3 days absolutely hating their life. Like, your body literally tells you that having too much of it is destroying your life. Like,
Don't
how
waste half
stupid
of
is it
your
that
life.
we are destined for so much more. Like, and we can't be taking this gift out of context, and because as soon as you do that, you start becoming a slave to this
substance.
liquid.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, is that we've created a life out of drinking. So we don't actually even talk about, we don't even talk about it with our friends, about what more there is.
We are socializing and interacting, but we just talk shit.
Surface
Just rubbish.
level conversations. It's like flatlining. Because we're actually dying. We're actually killing ourselves. It's poison. Cue the dramatic music.
The World Health Organization say that something between like 85 to 90% of the world suffer from AUD, alcohol use disorder, which ranges from your casual binge drinker over the weekend or someone who smashes alcohol every day. 90% of the world suffer from this. I'm suffering from it. And I know a lot of people are all suffering from this disorder and don't even know it. And they won't know it until their life hits rock bottom in 10 years or so, and then they're too deep. So this is about getting to the problem before it takes over your life.
And we're not saying that you have a problem. We're not saying stop drinking, go to AA, you're an alcoholic, or whatever your drug of choice might be. For me, a lot of the time over the years, it's actually been smoking. When you smoke, whether it's cigarettes, weed, whatever it might be, it actually forces you to be still and take deep breaths. You know you can just do that by breathing, right? But
Just
we're not,
relax. Yeah.
But yeah, we're not saying that it's a problem that everyone has. But as Jared said, 90%, that's insane.
Be aware of it, because I know for a fact myself and so many other people I know are going through this and they don't even know it.
From my experience, I've made a point over the last few years of my life going out and not drinking. Mainly because I really needed it for myself, but I was curious to find out if I could be in those situations without it. And it was not easy. It got a lot easier for me personally and physically to do it, but what was really difficult is the judgment and the rejection that I faced for doing something like this. So you've got to go easy on yourself. It's not going to be easy, and you may even have to make some really difficult choices to remove yourself from certain situations. But if you feel like there is more to your life than what you are currently experiencing, you're right.
Oh, 100%.
You're so right, and you can do it. But this particular subject is one of the ones that we need to talk about as Australians and all around the world, but here especially because we have A culture surrounded by drug taking, by smoking, by doing these things that numb our emotions and stop us from actually figuring out who we are.
I wanted to touch on the power of the mind. So what Kat's saying is that it's been drilled into us as a society that our culture as Australians is drinking. And it's been almost made a joke out of. Like, so many people are just going through life, going through these motions, drinking all the time because they think that it's normal, they think that it's part of our culture. And people just think, oh, this is just life. And this is just all it is. Understand that you have the ability to change anything in your life. Like, it is not a culture. If you have ideas in your head that you want to get out, go out and do them.
You have to make a decision, because that's what starts the thing. It's a decision. It doesn't have to be a decision to quit. It doesn't have to be a decision to leave your friends. It just has to be a decision to be more than you were this morning, to seek more than you were yesterday.
You really need to want it for yourself, but I know that every person out there is destined for so much more than what they're putting out. Like, people, we've dumbed ourselves down so much, and we just think, like, people are just, shuffling through life like this is just what it is. No, this is just what you think it is. You change your thoughts and you will change your life. But if there's something that you want to do, there is absolutely nothing that will stop you from doing it but yourself.
Boom.
Ooh.
And it all comes back to that connection. So it is a scientific fact that we are all energetically connected. All living things are connected to each other. So we all affect each other, whether it's with our energy, with our words, or our actions. This can be the thing that lifts us or the thing that brings us down. Studies around addiction, depression, criminal behavior, loneliness, anxiety, and more prove the people who actually made changes in their lives to create better connections with themselves and the world around them and their communities and their friends and their families actually completely recovered. They changed their behaviors, they changed their lives because of connection, and that's internal and external. But if you're dumbing yourself down with these depressants, then you're getting stuck in space and you won't be able to move anything within to actually be able to change anything without. Fucking poet.
It comes down to is it an age-old saying? I don't know. Like, what you put out into the world is what you're gonna get back. If all you're putting out into the world is, I'm gonna go and, I don't know.
Wasted.
Yeah, like, the only people that are gonna come to you are the people trapped in the same environment and trapped in the same depression, in the same little bubble that's just eating away your natural self.
You got to expand your horizons. You've got to try new things. You've got to meet new people. You've got to talk to strangers. Do something different than you did the day before. If you're not hungover all the time, then you actually have more energy and you physically are able to do more, and it's really fun and exciting. That's how
100%.
we met.
Yeah, exactly. People themselves don't want to feel like they have a problem, so they'll con you into thinking that you don't have a problem, so then they have a partner to come and drink with, or they have a partner to go to the pub with. You'll notice that people that go to the pub all the time don't go to the pub with athletes, because athletes hang with athletes and they're not at the pub drinking all the time because they're out doing shit.
There is greatness in every single one of us, but it's easier to watch greatness. It's easier to just go and watch it than to put in the time and put in the energy to actually draw that greatness out of yourself and give that back, to project that out to the world. We get lazy because we do all the easy stuff. So if you're happy in your easy life, that is absolutely fine. But if you want more, then you've got to actually do a little bit of work.
People don't understand that these people behind the scenes are putting in so much work and so much effort to get to where they are in life and to have like so much money and to have this success. You cannot have success unless you're putting in effort, if you're putting in time. There's just so many things out there that you can get the same, if not so much more enjoyment out of and have fun with than these stupid substances. Like we said, you can go and enjoy them in a certain context, but don't let them control your life.
Just imagine if you did less of that and more of that. Imagine how much could actually start to change. And then, like Jared said, you'll start attracting more of what you're doing into your life. You'll attract people who are on the similar level. And that will lead to more things and lift you from there. It is the best part of the journey, is not knowing where it will lead, but just trusting those good feelings that you can now feel because you're not numb. We think that all these people that are famous and that are rich and that are powerful got a helping hand, and they just were given everything that they needed to get there.
So not true.
They've come through addiction, they've come through traumatizing experiences. They just don't talk about it all the time. They talk about what is working. They talk about what they're excited about. They talk about what they're doing to change. People like Tony Robbins, Oprah, Samuel L. Jackson, Ian Humphrey, Robert Downey Jr., J.K. Rowling, Steve Jobs, people who have created incredible things. And you know what they didn't create? Nights out at the pub all the time.
So many people that I speak to at the pub, they have so many ideas, but they don't. What needs to be addressed and what people need to realize is that to be able to achieve those goals and those ideas, you need to give up going to the pub.
How bad do you want it? How bad do you want
Yeah.
a night life where you wake up and you feel healthy, you wake up and you feel happy for no particular reason other than the fact that you are simply alive?
The only way to change your life is to change your thoughts. And if you keep thinking that, oh, the pub's fun and, you know, you're just going to end up back at the pub, you'll have to make sacrifices. But like Kat said, how bad do you want it? And if this video speaks to you because you know that you're either in this position or you're surrounded by friends that are, you know, stuck in this rut as well, be the change for your friends. Make the change for a better life. Better your life and start bringing people out, because they're all in this same boat that's sinking. And nobody's trying to save it. Everybody's just like, oh, it's okay that we're sinking
Another
because
drink.
we're sinking together. Like, people just think it's okay because you're doing it together, but
If you do make that change and you do step out and do something different, your friends might not follow you.
100%.
Your friends might even reject you. And you can't take that personally, because it doesn't mean that that's forever. They will hopefully be inspired by all the things that you end up doing, because you will. And maybe they will come and join you on that level one day. But do not take it personally, and do not let them pull you back. Be the change.
Remember what you're doing it for. And remember that if people don't follow you, that's not a reaction to you. That's a reflection of themselves.
And I love saying that our triggers are our teachers. So whether you're triggered by this or people around you are triggered by your behavior of making that change, let the triggers be your teachers and allow them to help you transcend them. You need to transcend this negativity and this space that is created when you dull yourself down and you numb yourself with all of these poisons and these toxins that we consume as if they're water. We consume as if they're a life force, but really they're a death force. So you're gonna let these drinks, these drugs, doobies and darts destroy your life, dement you, depress you and debilitate you? Or are you going to shed all of that crap that they draw into your life and step out and do something different?
If anybody watching this is really struggling with this stuff and does want to talk to me about drinking and drugs, because trust me, I've been around it a lot and I'm going through this journey as well.
We've already noticed what happens. We've already noticed that when you step into it yourself, you start to draw people in who are doing the same. So we want to talk to you. We want to hear from you. We want to add to our tribe who wants to transcend all of this bullshit and create a whole new incredible world for the future, for ourselves and for everyone around us,
For our kids.
for our parents, for anyone.
everybody.
Feel free to connect with either Jared or I on our Instagrams. You can jump on the comments below. You can share this video. We should so do one of those jumping high fives like they do in Anchorman. Cool.
Yes.
Awesome. We'll edit that right out.
You have a life.
Yeah.
Don't fucking waste it at the pub.